Today's episode is sponsored by W Energy,
Powered by
and I'll tell you
Riverside
more about
FM.
that later. On this show, we talk Royal Rumble fallout on both Raw and SmackDown, my thoughts on the two winners from both the men's and women's Royal Rumble, Super Bowl reactions, NBA power ranking, NBA MVP watch list, and in honor of Black History Month. This month only we're doing Elephant in the Room with a focus on one athlete each week who embodies Black history. And we'll do a Michigan basketball vibe check, all that and more on Bishop's Breakdown. So let's break it down. So welcome back, episode 16. Let's start with the Raw recap. So there's a rumor going around that Braun Breaker is hurt. He hurt his hernia. So that would make sense why, he's not been too active in the ring. And maybe that's why he didn't win the Royal Rumble, because the rumors also say that he was pinned to win the Royal Rumble, which is a big blow to both Raw and WrestleMania, because that put storylines on hold. Like, I assumed they were going to do Braun Breaker versus Seth freaking Rollins at Mania, but with both of them hurt, that seems very unlikely, unless something changes in the next few months. But will the real El Grande Americana please stand up? Because both those guys, especially in the Rumble when they did the whole pointing thing like the Spider-Man meme, I think that would be a very good WrestleMania match, because both the guys that are rumored to be El Grande Americanos are very excellent wrestlers. And I think they both deserve a spotlight on WrestleMania this year. I mean, it's 2 nights. So if they can't find room for that match, then what are we doing? What are we really doing? And if you want to see the promo of the year so far, it's Roman Reigns and CM Punk. Roman and CM Punk went to the bag of tricks and went to the past and brought up interactions that they had or interactions that people assume they've had, and brought it to the forefront of how it affected them personally. Like Roman talking about the Colt Cabana podcast, or CM Punk saying, "You're just basically doing me. And just because you had the title longer doesn't mean that you did it better than me." Because, CM Punk had Paul Heyman on his side, just like Roman did during his long, long title reign. So it was fantastic. It got me super hyped for WrestleMania, even more than I normally am, because I can't wait for both of these guys. And I hope they don't ruin it with Roman not being on every week. And hopefully he will be on more than he was during the Cody and Roman buildup, when it was just Cody doing stuff by himself. And that's not going to help things for Mania. So I think Roman needs to be there a lot more than he has in the past. So let's move on to SmackDown. And I love me some Cody Raheem Rhodes. If you don't know what that is, Google it, because somebody made a video that Cody Rhodes is honorary, black man. Like what would they say? He destroyed racism all by himself. Cody Rhodes. But when he's spitting and all angry, and he got that lisp coming back, he sounds just like his dad. Like with the cadence, the lisp, like that was Dusty Rhodes on SmackDown. I love angry Cody Rhodes. So a heel turn would make him even more able to use those things in his arsenal, and I think he can do it. And I hope WWE pulls the trigger sooner rather than later, or it might be way too late, just like they waited way too long to make John Cena turn heel. But it was epic, and we need more of pissed off Cody Rhodes. And then Obi Femi. I forgot to mention on the Raw earlier, but the Viking Raiders were out in the ring waiting for a tag match, and their eyes lit up when Obi's music played, and he stompers down, and he put boots to, yeah, and Obi is that guy. Like, he just destroyed them like they were just 100-pound enhancement workers. But they are some big boys. Them Viking Raiders are some big boys, and he threw them around like they were pillows. Like he's the guy. And on SmackDown, I think he should be in the chamber match. I don't know why, I don't know how, but only bear in mind, only if he wins. If he's not going to win, leave him completely off the chamber match because you don't need to beat him or some shenanigans where he trips on a banana peel and falls and gets pinned because that's the only way he can get out of the match unless he destroys the I don't know. There's no disqualification, so I don't know what they could do to make him look strong but still lose. So just keep him off unless you want him to win, which him versus Drew McIntyre, chef's kiss. You know what I mean? And Obi's the truth. He is the future, and you're watching it live on SmackDown or Raw or wherever they decide to put him. Hopefully on Raw because they need more monsters to invade the main event scene. But SmackDown would be nice too. But Obi versus Brock Lesnar at Mania would be amazing because Brock Lesnar's at the point of his career he don't need wins, and Obi needs all the wins. And imagine in April after Mania, Obi has beaten Brock Lesnar. Like great. But they started the Elimination Chamber qualifying matches. And in the men's, you got Randy Orton defeating Trick Williams. So let's talk qualifying Elimination Chamber matches that they had on SmackDown. You had Orton taking on Solo Sikoa and Aleister Black. And Randy Orton gets the victory and punches his ticket to the Elimination Chamber. With an RKO out of nowhere. Shocker. But Randy Orton moves on and just waiting on the rest of the qualifiers to come out. And then Tiffany Stratton took on Lash Legend and Chelsea Green. And Tiffany Stratton gets the victory, even though she had a wardrobe malfunction, but it's, Tiffy time. So she, busted through that. So that's what Tiffany Stratton and Randy Orton are moving on to Elimination Chamber. And next week, Cody Rhodes takes on Jacob Fatu and Sami Zayn in a triple threat for another qualifying spot for the men's. And the women's is Alexa Bliss, Julia, and also Selena Vega in their triple threat. My picks for the women's, seems more easier than the men's, and it's Alexa Bliss. With the men's one, if Drew McIntyre, because he did get attacked on SmackDown this week, interferes in this match and costs Cody again another shot at trying to get back his WWE Undisputed Championship, that means I feel Jacob Fatu is going to win that match. But if Drew doesn't interfere, it's Cody Rhodes. But either way, I think the end game for this WWE Undisputed Championship match at WrestleMania in Vegas will be a triple threat with Jacob Fatu, Cody Rhodes, and Drew McIntyre defending in triple threat. But maybe they also add Randy Orton to the mix and have a fatal four-way. Either way, I think that match is something newer than what we're used to because we've already seen way too many Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre matches. So hopefully they'll think of those things and do a triple threat because I think that match will be awesome. So let's break down the two Royal Rumble winners. The men's Royal Rumble winner, Roman Reigns, and the women's Royal Rumble winner, Liv Morgan. Let's start with Roman Reigns. But first, actually, scratch that. Everyone thinks that the Royal Rumble is an elevating win. Like, it should be people who are, going on the uptick, and they need to give them the Royal Rumble winning. But let's be real. Like, this is Mania talking about. You don't want to throw a guy that might not be ready or too soon for the audience to really get behind, especially if the plans is for him to lose. I much rather them have a showcase during said match, like Oba, like Last Legend, so to show the WWE universe that they have what it takes to be your favorites, to be your person you're gonna go behind that you want to see with a championship. It's too early for Oba to win the Rumble and go to WrestleMania and lose the Punk, lose to Drew McIntyre. Like it just doesn't. It's not time right now. So I'm okay with Roman winning the match. And they also say there shouldn't be multiple Royal Rumble winners. But I feel there should be. Because when you see a guy like a Cody Rhodes, like a Stone Cold Steve Austin, and when he's walking to the ring, stomping on, and you look at the screen where it says his name and it says two-time Royal Rumble winner, and you were like, wow, eyes light up. So people who don't watch wrestling, if people come to me and say, I want to get into wrestling, how do I start? And I show them Cody Rhodes, and they see two-time Rumble winner. And then they say, what's that? What's a Royal Rumble? And I'm like, oh, it's a 30-man battle royale or 30-woman battle royale. And to win the match, you have to throw your opponent over the top rope, feet hit the floor, and the last person standing wins and gets a main event spot at WrestleMania. And you're like, dang, he won it twice? And now they're like, he's a big deal. Because that's a big deal, especially the people who don't watch it every week like I do. So there needs to be stuff like that. So I feel Roman and the stuff we're getting from Roman and Punk going to the bag of tricks of stuff that happened 10 plus years ago. You know, how Punk brought him in the Shield as his bodyguards. How Roman Reigns went to him and said, CM Punk, you went to your friend's podcast, Colt Cabana. It's like that's the greatness that we're going to get out of it. And the titles on the line, that stacks in things and makes things that much more interesting. So I don't see an issue with any of that. And I just want you to know that you should just enjoy the ride because this Mania is going to be. It was starting to look like it's going to be, but Roman Punk, I love it. And then Liv Morgan, she got hurt last year and her momentum just stopped at a halt. So they're trying to build her back up because she's good. Like she is probably next to Vicky Guerrero the most annoying voice on the planet. But when she says she's the greatest Royal Rumble winner of all time, you roll your eyes at it, but you hear her say it, and she says it with belief, with trueness, and that's a great character, and it makes me believe, but it makes me believe to the point where I don't believe what she's saying as a truth, but I believe she believes that she's saying it, and I hate her for it. And that's her job to make me feel something. And that's what we want from all our professional wrestlers to feel something. If you're not feeling something, that's when you change the channel. That's when you watch something else. That's when you pick up your phone. That's when you do things that they don't want you to do, which is pay attention to the product. And that's why I think these two Royal Rumble winners deserve it. And moving forward, that's what they should use the Rumble as a vehicle during the match for these up and comers. But you want your top stars to be winning the Royal Rumbles because then when they go to these main events of WrestleMania, now you don't know who's gonna win. I honestly don't know who's gonna win between CM Punk and Roman Reigns. It could literally go either way. My vote is for Roman Reigns to win, but I could see CM Punk winning too, and that's okay. That's why we watch it. And I'm tired of going into WrestleMania and be like, all right, well, he's gonna win. He's gonna win. And then it happens, and you're just like, well, why did I even watch it? I already knew 4 hours before night one that who was gonna win night one and night two. So just remember, not always knowing is not a bad thing. And we move on. So before we get to the Super Bowl breakdown, here's my sponsor. This episode of Bishop's Breakdown is sponsored by W Energy. If you're someone who needs focus without the crash, whether you're creating, like me, gaming, or just grinding through a long day. W makes powdered energy mixes with no sugars, no artificial flavors, and no fillers. I'm big on clarity and consistency, and W's designed to give you steady energy without the jitters like you get from like coffee or other energy drinks. If you want to try it for yourself, use my code Bishop's Breakdown at checkout for a discount of 10%. As always, support the brand that supports the podcast and make sure anything you try fits your routine. Link in the description. All right, let's get back to the show. So let's talk Super Bowl 60. You had the Seattle Seahawks taking on the New England Patriots in Southern California at Levi Stadium. With the halftime show, bear in mind, by Bad Bunny, which threw everyone for a loop because they're like, wait, we want American, blah, blah, blah. But uh, last I checked, Puerto Rico is part of America. He's an American citizen. Shh, calm down. Calm down. Okay? But anyways, and the halftime show, it was fine. I mean, I'm not a fluent in Spanish, but I felt his vibe. I like Bad Bunny. I seen him on Backlash in Puerto Rico against Damian Priest. Fantastic match. If you want to see what a pop is, go watch his entrance before he took on Damian Priest. And that crowd blew up for sure. But back to the Super Bowl. Congratulations to the Seattle Seahawks for winning the Super Bowl. Sam Darnold made no mistakes. Drake May came up one vote short to be the Super Bowl MVP, or not Super Bowl MVP, but the regular season MVP. And he made all the mistakes. 2 picks, 1 fumble loss, looked lost out there, looked like it was his first Super Bowl, which it was. Vrabel didn't have any plans, didn't have any, I don't know, things to counteract Seattle's tenacious defense. So he looked lost too. So I don't know where you go from here, but the Seattle Seahawks deserve all the praise. Kenneth Walker III, that boy put the team on his back and just ran. Like he would have had almost 200 yards rushing, but his long touchdown run late in the fourth quarter was called back for a holding call, which whatever. That would have sealed the game then. I mean, it was already sealed, but Kenneth Walker III said, "I'm not losing this Super Bowl." Like JSN, they double triple, they put a blanket over him. They did what they were supposed to do to keep him from running wild like he has all year long. But Sam Darnold made no mistakes. And that's the difference of the game. If you make mistakes, you lose those big games. If you don't purposely, or not even purposely, but if you don't give the ball to the other team as an offense, you're going to win most of those games, especially close games, because the game started real like defensively. I think it was like 9-0 or 12-0. Yeah, it was 9-0 at halftime. And I think it was like first time in forever that a touchdown wasn't scored in the first half of the Super Bowl. Let alone no team has came back from not scoring in the first half to win the Super Bowl. So the New England Patriots were already behind the brick wall and had to come back from the start because their offense just wasn't clicking. It just was like, I mean, even Stephon Diggs, he had what, 10 targets, but he only had like 2 or 3 catches. I mean, their superstars didn't show out. And their run game was meh, because the Seattle defense was not letting any one of their running backs go anywhere. I think in the first half they had like 26 yards rushing or something minuscule like that. So Seattle Seahawks did what they had to do. Like Skip Bayless called him Same Darnold. Same Darnold showed up and showed out, and now he's Sam Darnold. Like his chip is still on his shoulder, but he showed all the teams that gave up on him that he is a Super Bowl winning quarterback. And no one could take that away from him. And his draft with Lamar and Josh Allen, he's the first to not only make the Super Bowl, but win it. So he might not have the regular season MVPs, but he got the one thing that matters the most, a Super Bowl ring. So here's my weekly Michigan Wolverines vibe check men's basketball. They're currently 20-1. Okay, I'll repeat that. 20 wins, 1 loss, number 2 in the nation. The greatest start in Michigan basketball history. Get that in mind. History. They've won national championships and not had a better start than they have right now. So you are watching greatness. So keep your eyes open. Check out the Michigan Wolverines whenever you have a chance because them kids are playing bananas. And hopefully, I'm praying that they can keep this momentum up going into next month in the national championship March Madness because that's what you're playing for. And I think Michigan deserves to be a Final Four competitor, deserves to be in the national championship game, and deserves to win the national championship this year. Go Blue. Moving on. Let's do the all-knowing my Bishop's NBA power ranking. At number 1, you got the OKC Thunder at 40-13. Then you got the Detroit Pistons at number 2 with a 38-13 record, also number 1 in the Eastern Conference. Then you got the San Antonio Spurs at 36-16. And finally, at 4, you got a 3-way tie with the New York Knicks, the Denver Nuggets, and the Boston Celtics. All 3 are 34-19, all making their case to be in the top seeds in both the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference. Let's move on to the MVP watch list, my watch list with my eyeballs. You got Luka Doncic of the LA Lakers, averaging 32.8 points per game and 8.6 assists per game. Then you got my unicorn, the original unicorn, Nikola Jokic, with 28.9 points per game, 12.2 rebounds per game, and 10.7 assists per game. Triple-double averages, by the way. And then finally, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander of the Oklahoma City Thunder, the reigning, defending MVP of last year's regular season, and the defending NBA champions as well, averaging 31.8 points per game and 6.4 dimes per game. So I'm really excited for this month's cast of Elephant in the Room, you know, focusing on athletes and wrestlers or whoever that, embodies Black history. So let's start it. Number 1, it's got to be Kobe Bean Bryant. Kobe Bryant wasn't just a basketball player. He was a symbol of Black excellence, discipline, and obsession with greatness. Coming straight out of high school to redefine work ethic was with the Mamba mentality. You've all heard that, the Mamba mentality. Kobe showed what happens when preparation meets a purpose. And we praise Kobe now, but we weren't built to handle him then. But here's some career achievements that he had. He was a 5-time NBA champion, a 2-time MVP of those finals, a 1-time MVP. He should have been 2. He got robbed by Steve Nash. But we're not here to talk about that. He's an 18-time All-Star, a 15-time All-NBA, a 12-time All-Defensive Team, a 2-time scoring champion. He also had the second most points in NBA history with 81 points. Remember that, Jalen Rose? And he has 60 points in his final NBA game. Mamba mentality makes him legendary, but it also made him controversial. Teammates called him selfish. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. You've heard all of it. You heard the interviews. Media called him difficult to work with. But what they were uncomfortable with was a black man demanding excellence without apology. Kobe didn't change to be liked. He changed to stand the standard. And the history rewarding him for that. Like, ask yourself, was Kobe a great leader or just relentless competitor who didn't care how it looked? He was all about championships, winning the game. And that's what you want from your star athletes. You don't want him, not doing those things, not creating opportunities for his teammates to get wins, to get rings, to get championships. If you're not playing the NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball, all the sports, NHL to win the championship, then what are you doing? Even in WWE, you're not going to WWE to just be there. You're going to WWE to be the champion, to main event WrestleMania and win titles. You're not here to just collect a check. Because if you are, then you don't need to be here. And Kobe did that. Kobe was excellent in making it all about the win, all about the team, all about championships. Remember how many teams Kobe played for in his career? One, the Lakers. Because he knew that no matter what, he's going to stay there and do everything in his ability to win championships. Because greatness doesn't ask for permission. And Kobe never did. So that's all she wrote on today's episode of Bishop's Breakdown. Episode 16 is wrapping up. And if you rock with the conversation, make sure you follow, subscribe, and share this with someone who actually likes real takes and not phony takes like you see on most media. We don't run from the elephant in the room. We talk about it. And I'm Bishop, and I'll catch you on the next breakdown. So like I do on everything I do, deuces, ooses.